Nia discovered a planet broadcasting images of Earth. The images appeared before events happened at home. A rainy city appeared exactly 3 days early. A forest fire appeared before the lightning strike. The distant world seemed to dream our future. Nia named it Somnia and requested an expedition. As she approached, her childhood filled every screen. No one but Nia knew those memories. A voice emerged from the ship itself. It asked why humans had stopped listening to dreams. Nia landed upon plains resembling her childhood home. Yet 3 pale blue moons filled the sky. Familiar houses stood among luminous trees. Windows opened into rooms that had never existed. Faceless figures moved through the streets. When Nia approached, they became butterflies. Each butterfly carried a fragment of human memory. Her neural scanner detected billions of overlapping signals. Somnia was not copying Earth through machines. It was recreating what humanity dreamed. Nia entered a forest that changed with thought. Remembering winter turned the leaves into snow. Thinking of the sea made roots become waves. Small creatures emerged from passing thoughts. A fox with a cloud tail followed her. Flying fish swam through the spaces between trees. Birds carried wings made from turning pages. Every creature blended memories from many humans. Somnia turned collective imagination into an ecosystem, but newer creations were becoming distorted. A black storm appeared above the horizon. Fearful faces moved within the clouds. Lightning formed images of war and collapsing cities. Nia realized the storm was made from nightmares. It grew from fears spreading across Earth's networks. Forest creatures fled from the approaching darkness. Memory houses dissolved into sand. The cloud fox led Nia toward a mirror gate. Beyond it waited Somnia's true city. A hidden people were trying to stabilize the dream. Somnia's people had glass bodies filled with starlight. They called themselves the Oniri. Each Oniri tended dreams from different worlds. Their city was built from constantly changing bridges. Towers changed shape with collective emotion. A guide named Ilion greeted Nia through memory. He showed Somnia linked many sleeping worlds. Earth had joined the network under a century ago. Artificial signals had strengthened the connection too quickly. Human nightmares were overwhelming the other worlds. Ilion brought Nia to the dream lake. Its surface reflected sleepers across thousands of planets. One alien dreamed of violet oceans. A machine species dreamed of flowers growing through metal. A child on Earth dreamed of flying among stars. The dreams met and formed new living creatures. Nia saw the black storm spreading across the lake. If covered, every connection would become a nightmare. The Oniri could not alter dreams belonging to others. Only a human could enter the human storm. Nia activated her neural band and entered the lake. The water became a sky filled with doors. Each door led to one human fear. She crossed a city where nobody had a face. She saw oceans rising over entire continents. She entered a room where every clock ran backward. Shadows whispered that the future was already gone. Nia realized the storm fed on shared helplessness. To weaken it, she needed a different shared dream. But she could not dream for all humanity alone. Nia found the source of Earth's first connection. It was an old radio tower in a desert. Its signal once carried a hopeful song into space. Somnia heard the song and opened the link. Over time, noise buried the hopeful transmission. Naya recovered the melody from the planet's memory. She broadcast the song through every dream door. Some shadows stopped and listened. Doors began opening toward kinder memories. The storm weakened but did not disappear. Ilian linked the Oniri to Nia's melody. Each sent a dream from the world they tended. Violet oceans appeared inside the storm. Metal flowers blossomed across black clouds. Flying creatures carried children through the sky. Naya added a dream of worlds working together. The images joined into one enormous vision. The storm became rain of light, not ruin. Each drop carried a fear that had been understood. The dream lake became clear again. Distorted forest creatures regained their forms. The cloud fox transformed into a winged animal. Memory houses rose again from the ground. The Oniri city stabilized among shifting bridges. Ilian showed Nia new dreams arriving from Earth. Many people dreamed of skies filled with living worlds. One child dreamed of Nia beneath 3 moons. The dream appeared before Nia returned home. Somnia not only received dreams but returned them. Some human ideas might have begun here. The Oniri gave Nia a teardrop-shaped crystal. The crystal held a doorway to the dream lake. Naya could open it when humanity needed hope. She promised never to use it to control minds. Ilian warned that every dream required freedom. Naya returned to her ship beneath luminous rain. Dream creatures circled the ship in farewell. Somnia reshaped its landscape into a blue earth. Then the image faded and the planet returned. Naya departed feeling as though she had just awakened. On the trip home, Nia finally slept again. She dreamed of a city she had never seen. The city stood beneath 7 suns. An unknown being waited beside a gate. It held a crystal matching the Oniri gift. The being said its world was also having nightmares. Naya awoke as the crystal glowed in her hand. Her computer received coordinates for the 7 sun system. The dream had become a new distress call. And Somnia had chosen Nia as its listener. Elias found a moon casting shadows without any light. Its darkness moved against the direction of its star. Telescopes recorded human-like shapes inside the black regions. No one could explain why those shapes looked upward. Umbra reflected no light, which gave it its name. Elias was sent to trace the silhouette's source. As his ship approached, every shadow stopped at once. One enormous shadow turned toward his cockpit. It raised an arm as if greeting a visitor. Umbra seemed to have waited for humanity. Elias landed along the border between light and darkness. One side was a white desert beneath harsh starlight. The other was a black plain without visible depth. Elias's shadow stretched forward despite the light behind him. It moved half a beat behind his body. When Elias stopped, the shadow kept walking. It turned and signaled for him to follow. His instruments detected a temperature within the shadow. Darkness here was not an absence of light. It was a form of life. The shadow led Elias into a forest of pillars. Each pillar held darkness of a different shape. A bird-like shadow flew between the cliffs. A 4-legged shadow drank light from the ground. The creatures possessed no clear physical bodies. They survived by absorbing trapped photons. When full, they released thin blue outlines. Elias reached toward a small, trembling creature. The shadow wrapped his glove without feeling cold. It showed him a vision of a stolen sun. Deep inside grew trees that stored daylight. Their leaves were black mirrors thin as paper. At night, their roots released light underground. Shadow creatures gathered around the glowing roots. They did not fear light, but depended upon it. Black worms coiled around trunks to preserve warmth. Flowers opened only inside complete darkness. Their pollen floated as tiny particles of light. Umbra sustained life through exchange between light and shadow, but that exchange was breaking down. Human-like silhouettes appeared and surrounded Elias. They rose from the ground like physical bodies. Purple outlines revealed faces without eyes. They called themselves the Vesper. The Vesper recorded memory by shaping shadows. Each carried shadows from many ancestral generations. Elias saw their history moving across the cliffs. A city once shone beneath a smaller sun. Then that sun vanished from the city's center. Without it, the shadow species were slowly dissolving. The Vesper guided Elias to a city below. Its towers appeared only when viewed indirectly. Bridges were woven from overlapping bands of shadow. Spheres of light floated above dark plazas. Each sphere nourished thousands of residents. The central sphere vanished 3 cycles earlier. Ancient cameras showed a luminous creature taking it. The creature escaped toward the white desert. The Vesper could not survive long in intense light. Only Elias could pursue the thief. Elias crossed the bright side on a magnetic sled. The ground reflected starlight like thousands of mirrors. Crystal animals chased the sled's moving shadow. They had transparent bodies and luminous bones. Mirror-faced birds covered the sky. Reflections overwhelmed his navigation system. Elias used his own shadow as a compass. The shadow pointed toward an enormous impact crater. Golden sunlight rose from the crater's depths. The thief waited directly below. Inside the crater, Elias met a creature of light. It resembled a child with long, radiant wings. The creature held the sun sphere against its chest. It did not attack, but guarded a nest. Inside were dozens of fading light creatures. The sphere had saved them from the bright side. Elias understood this was not theft driven by greed. Both ecosystems needed the same source of energy. Returning it would save Vesper but doom the young. He needed a way to divide the light. Elias discovered the sphere was a living prism. It could create more light when given enough shadow. He summoned the Vesper to the twilight border. The light beings brought their young there too. Elias placed the sphere between both realms. The Vesper poured ancestral shadows into the prism. The light creatures offered their remaining energy. The sphere divided into 2 smaller suns. One returned home, while one stayed near the nest. For once, both species saw each other clearly. Dividing the prism made the entire moon tremble. A vast dark fissure opened along the twilight line. Living shadows poured into it like a river. Light was pulled from both newborn suns. Elias realized Umbra was an ancient balancing machine. The prism had once stabilized the moon's gravitational core. To save Umbra, they had to reconnect both suns. The Vesper formed a shadow bridge across the fissure. The light beings became a radiant cable overhead. Elias stood between them and synchronized both energies. The twin suns pulsed in perfect rhythm. The shadow bridge became a ring around the moon. The fissure closed as light and shadow merged. Mirror forests regrew from the ground. Shadow creatures regained their luminous outlines. The young lights flew from their nest at last. The Vesper opened their city to the bright side. Both species began trading light and memory. Elias saw his own shadow standing beside him. It bowed before returning beneath his feet. Elias left Umbra as both small suns rose. A new ring of shadow glowed around the moon. Telescopes finally revealed the Vesper city, but Elias kept its exact coordinates secret. He sent home one sample of light and shadow. Inside the laboratory, the sample formed a small hand. It drew a circle of shadow across the table. The circle matched Umbra's new ring. Then another shadow appeared behind Elias. Perhaps part of Umbra had followed him home. The call from planet Illyra. Across the endless cosmic ocean, Lyra received a signal unlike anything ever discovered. It was not a cry for help, but an invitation sent across the stars. The coordinates led her to Illyra, a planet hidden behind the nebula for millions of years. From orbit, Illyra looked less like a world and more like a living creature. Below the clouds waited a wilderness beyond anything humanity had ever imagined. There, Lyra became the first human to set foot upon Illyra. Every tree was connected, forming a living network across the entire continent. These tiny creatures used color to speak, warn one another, and express emotion. This gentle giant did not eat the trees, but absorbed their excess energy. On Illyra, rivers did not flow toward the sea. They climbed into the sky. Even the predators took only enough to preserve the balance of the forest. Above the forest drifted sky leviathans, creatures as vast as entire cities. Within the forest, Lyra met the Illyri, a people who had evolved alongside nature. They spoke without words, sharing thoughts through light and living memories. The Illyri city was not constructed. It had been grown over thousands of years. Across the planet, the Drokan endured within the unforgiving crystal deserts. They transformed underground heat and pressure into power for their entire civilization. High above lived the Eralis, a people who had never touched the ground. At Illyra's center stood the Heart Tree, connecting every living creature on the planet. A parasite carried by an ancient meteor was draining the Heart Tree's energy. If the Heart Tree died, Illyra's entire web of life would disappear with it. Forest, desert, and sky weakened together, bringing 3 civilizations toward extinction. Lyra realized that no single race could save Illyra alone. To heal the planet, they had to enter the deepest chamber of the Heart Tree. The Illyri awakened the biological energy sleeping beneath the ancient forest. The Drokan focused the power of millions of crystals into a single beam. The Eralis transformed the atmosphere into a vast network of flowing energy. When the 3 powers united, the darkness faded, and Illyra's heart awakened again. Illyra was saved not by one hero, but by worlds that chose unity. Lyra returned with a message. Among the stars, we have never truly been alone. Sora heard a song traveling through empty space. It came from neither radio nor any known ship. The signal carried the heartbeat of something enormous. Sora followed it beyond the shipping lanes. Long silhouettes appeared among the stars. They swam through space like whales through ocean. Each creature was longer than a human city. Glowing forests grew across their backs. One young whale had fallen behind the herd. The distress song came from the calf. Sora brought her ship beside the exhausted calf. Its skin carried tiny biological mountain ranges. The trees along its back were losing light. A wide fracture crossed the central forest. Blue energy particles leaked from the wound. Sora landed on a meadow across its back. Low gravity made the grass ripple like water. Tiny animals approached to inspect her ship. An entire ecosystem depended upon the whale's body. If the calf died, the forest would vanish too. Sora entered the forest beneath an open starfield. Leaves absorbed light from distant suns. Roots reached into the whale's energy channels. 6-winged birds flew through transparent branches. Small deer carried antlers shaped like nebulae. Insects gathered stardust from the bark. Each species supported one function of the whale. The forest was a vast symbiotic organ. Darkened trees near the fracture were dying quickly. Something had severed the energy flow. Sora met forest keepers no taller than her hand. They had 4 wings and glowing green skin. The Silfari had lived on star whales for generations. They communicated through tiny bells along their wings. The Silfari called the calf Luma. Luma was injured while crossing a dark dust cloud. The herd had to continue its century-long migration. Stopping would make them miss the light gate. The gate opened only once every 100 years. Luma had only hours to catch the herd. The Silfari guided Sora beneath the whale's skin. Glowing tunnels contracted like blood vessels. Energy particles drifted like schools of tiny fish. Several tunnels were covered in black webbing. Hexagonal eggs rested inside the web. Scans identified them as extragalactic organisms. The parasites drained energy to build their nest. They had spread close to Luma's heart. Destroying the nest too quickly could shock the whale. Sora needed to lure them outside. Sora learned the parasites were attracted to stardust. Forest insects had stored stardust for years. The Silfari gathered the dust into large sails. Sora attached the sails behind her ship. She flew beside the wound, making a bright trail. The parasites crawled out from the energy channels. They had black bodies with hundreds of thin legs. The swarm rushed after the stardust behind her ship. Sora led them beyond Luma's atmosphere. But the Queen remained buried inside. The Queen tightened around the heart like metal. Every beat of Luma's heart grew weaker. Sora entered the heart chamber in an energy suit. The Silfari projected light through healing crystals. The Queen opened wings like a black flower. It released pulses that scrambled Sora's memory. She forgot the route and why she was there. Luma's song echoed through the chamber walls. The melody helped Sora remember her purpose. She synchronized her transmitter with the whale's heartbeat. The new pulse forced the Queen to let go. The Silfari pulled it away with luminous cords. Sora opened an exit toward space. The Queen was pulled outside with the black webbing. The swarm immediately gathered around its Queen. Instead of destroying them, Sorcerer released an energy cocoon. The cocoon held enough stardust to draw them away. The swarm returned to the distant dark cloud. Energy began flowing through Luma again. But the herd was already nearing the gate. Sora used her ship to help Luma accelerate. The Silfari opened every light sail across the forest. Trees bent backward like the wings of a ship. Luma began swimming faster through the stars. Adult leviathans returned and broadcast guiding songs. Space ahead opened into a vast ring of light. The gate began closing before Luma arrived. Sora pushed her engines beyond safe limits. Luma matched its song with the entire herd. Both crossed the gate in the final moment. Beyond the gate lay a space filled with seeds. Millions of luminous seeds drifted around the herd. The adult whales opened the forests along their backs. The trees launched seeds toward young planets. Luma released its first seeds as well. One seed landed upon a barren nearby moon. It became a small tree within seconds. Sora understood the whales were planting life across space. Every migration created new ecosystems. Luma had arrived in time to continue the cycle. The Sylphari celebrated within the restored forest. Nebula-antlered deer ran across the meadow. 6 winged birds carried ribbons of light overhead. Luma sang more powerfully than before. The herd answered with a colossal harmony. Sora recorded it, but her device held too little. Part of the song became images inside her mind. She saw planets the whales had seeded before. One of them was ancient Earth. Life at home might have begun with this migration. Sora departed as the herd continued onward. The Sylphari gave her a star-shaped seed. It would grow only on a lifeless world. Sora sealed it inside a protected chamber. From afar, the whales resembled a moving constellation. Luma's song still echoed through her ship. Her computer detected another distant distress call. It came from a completely barren planet. The seed inside her chamber began to glow. The next planting might belong to Sora herself. Aaron received a radio signal from inside a star. The red star was entering its final days. No known machine could survive such heat. Yet, the signal contained a route into the atmosphere. Pulses of light within the map formed an invitation. Aaron steered toward the rolling stellar surface. A dark corridor opened between plasma storms. The corridor moved as if actively guiding him. At its end stood a gate larger than planets. A civilization was living inside the star. The ship crossed the gate, and temperature dropped. An artificial shell surrounded the stellar core. A vast city covered the shell's inner surface. Towers hung inward toward the central sun. Rivers of plasma flowed between metallic bridges. Small vessels sailed upon the energy currents. Gravity pulled everything toward the outer shell. Aaron landed on a black crystal platform. The city trembled with every pulse of the star. Each pulse was slower than the last. Beings of light emerged from columns of plasma. Their bodies resembled flames held inside glass. They were the Helion, born from the star itself. The Helion changed color with emotion. A blue guide introduced herself as Solari. Solari touched his armor and shared a thermal map. The map showed the core collapsing unnaturally. A black cold zone spread through the energy layers. If it reached the core, the star would die. The Helion needed Aaron to investigate it physically. Solari led Aaron through forests of plasma. Energy trees grew directly from rivers of fire. Lightning birds nested along radiant branches. Dragon-like creatures swam through the convection layers. They consumed small storms before larger ones formed. Plasma jellyfish filtered impurities from energy rivers. Every species helped keep the star stable. The cold zone had darkened many forests. Lightning birds abandoned their nests in flocks. The ecosystem inside the star was collapsing. Aaron reached the circular control center. Thousands of helions surrounded a model of the star. The model showed a black object below. It absorbed heat without releasing radiation. It appeared after a meteor storm. Some helion wanted to abandon the star immediately. Others believed the star was a body-bound prison. Solari asked Aaron to identify the object. He agreed to descend into unexplored layers. The route opened only during the star's weakest cycle. Aaron boarded a mirrored stellar diving craft. Solari entered the system as a stream of light. The craft descended through colossal plasma waterfalls. Magnetic layers bent everything ahead of them. Fire shark creatures circled the vessel. Solari flashed colors that moved them aside. The radiant layers faded into cold gray. Plasma particles froze into floating crystals. Aaron's thermal systems nearly stopped working. Ahead appeared another abandoned city. The cold city was built from light-absorbing material. Statues depicted beings made of black crystal. A figure emerged from a silent tower. It introduced itself as the last Noxar. The Noxar had lived here before the Helion. Its species absorbed heat to prevent core explosions. The Helion had mistaken them for parasites. An ancient exile had destroyed most Noxar. Without them, the star accumulated unstable energy. The cold zone was the survivor's final warning. Noxar showed Aaron the core through a dark window. Inside was not a star simply dying. A smaller, bright core formed inside the old one. The star was preparing to birth another star. The process required Helion heat and Noxar cold. Without balance, both cores would explode. Aaron realized the city must detach from the shell. Helion had to accept help from exiles. Noxar agreed to return if history was told honestly. Aaron transmitted the complete memory to the central city. The truth sent waves of color through the Helion. Solari offered a public apology before the entire city. Ancient cooling chambers reopened after thousands of years. Noxar brought hidden crystal beings back into the city. The Helion provided heat for their dormant nurseries. The Noxar absorbed excess energy around the core. Both species activated the shell as a colossal vessel. The towers rotated away from the central star. Plasma bridges folded into protected chambers. The city prepared to leave its parent star. The newborn core began pushing the shell outward. Plasma storms struck the towers. Aaron calibrated thousands of magnetic engines. The Helion formed fire shields around the districts. The Noxar cooled structures near collapse. A massive shell segment became trapped in the atmosphere. Aaron piloted the diver, severing final energy locks. Solari held the chamber open with her plasma body. Noxar sent cold energy to keep her from dispersing. The final shell escaped the old star. Behind the city, the parent star contracted. A white flash crossed the entire system. Two smaller stars emerged from the radiance. One burned gold while the other shone cool blue. They orbited each other like twin hearts. The city settled between both energy sources. Plasma forests regrew beside the fire rivers. Crystal beings built homes beside the Helion. New life had emerged from restored balance. Aaron witnessed the rebirth of an entire star system. Solari gave Aaron a crystal holding fire and ice. The crystal carried the true history of both peoples. Aaron promised to share the story without alteration. Noxar opened a safe corridor beyond the system. Aaron's ship departed between the twin suns. From afar, the shell resembled an artificial planet. The original signal sounded again through his radio. This time it came from a distant blue star. Other cities might be living inside other stars. The universe may teem where we see only fire. Mara received a melody from an uncharted ocean. The signal repeated whenever she remembered Earth. Its source waited on the ocean world Thalassa 9. No satellite had ever found land there. The planet glowed like one enormous watching eye. Mara changed course and entered the forbidden sector. Her computer warned that the water was transmitting patterns. The patterns resembled the rhythms of a living brain. A world without continents appeared to be thinking. And it was calling Mara by name. Her ship pierced clouds the color of pearl. Below stretched an endless violet-blue ocean. Enormous rings of light moved across the surface. Each ring pulsed with the mysterious signal. Mara landed upon a floating reef. The reef shifted itself to support her ship. Coral branches opened like patient fingers. The air was breathable, but filled with glowing spores. The spores spiraled around her helmet. They seemed to be testing her memories. The first creature appeared beneath the transparent water. It carried 8 thin fins and a glass-like body. Inside it moved a school of living lights. The creature changed color when Mara raised her hand. A larger school surfaced and formed symbols. The symbols recreated scenes from Mara's childhood. No machine had ever recorded those memories. The ocean had read them from her mind. The glass creatures were cells within something larger. The entire sea might be one living being. Mara descended inside a transparent exploration pod. Sunlight vanished after only a few hundred meters. In its place, millions of luminous species awakened. Ribbon-shaped fish wrapped themselves around the currents. Giant sea trees opened flowers as she passed. Bell-shaped creatures released a deep harmonic sound. The sound made her pod vibrate like an instrument. Mara realized music was the ocean's language. Each species carried a different part of the symphony. But one essential note was slowly disappearing. The current guided Mara toward underwater domes. A living city rested among blue coral forests. Its buildings expanded with the rhythm of the sea. Tall, slender residents emerged through liquid doorways. They were Nymari, silver-skinned beings with glowing gills. The Nymari greeted Mara with a gentle chord. Her translator produced images instead of words. Mara saw the ocean preserving their history. Each memory was stored inside a luminous creature. But the memory keepers were beginning to die. The Nymari led Mara to the memory current. Its water moved against every surrounding current. Touching it revealed ages long gone. Mara witnessed the planet when its ocean was young. She saw the Nymari evolve from tiny swimmers. She also saw a black object fall from space. It had rested in the deepest trench for millennia. Since then, memories had vanished piece by piece. Mara realized the object was feeding on neural energy. If it awakened, the ocean would forget itself. The Nymari chose a living diver, not a machine. The giant ray opened a chamber along its back. Mara and 3 Nymari entered its body. It descended where pressure could crush metal. Biological membranes absorbed the pressure around them. Outside, kilometer-long light worms drifted past. A circular-mouthed creature emerged from darkness. A Nymari chord calmed it and sent it away. Mara understood that music maintained peace below. Deeper down, the signal became more twisted and broken. They reached an abyss that reflected no light. A black sphere with thin spines floated there. Its spines pierced the currents like roots. Every pulse erased thousands of memories. The sphere opened a bright slit and watched Mara. It recreated the voice of her lost mother. For a moment, Mara believed her mother was calling. A powerful Nymari chord broke the illusion. The creature fed not on flesh but cherished memory. To win, the whole ocean had to remember. Mara sent a signal to every Nymari city. Millions of residents began singing one shared melody. Sea creatures carried the melody across the planet. Coral reefs lit up like neural pathways. The memory current expanded through every sea. The black sphere released millions of illusions. Mara focused on one true memory of her mother. She shared that memory with the entire ocean. The honest emotion shattered the false visions. The sphere began losing control. A colossal leviathan awakened beneath the trench. Its body carried symbols from the planet's history. It was Thalassa's oldest keeper of memory. The leviathan wrapped long fins around the sphere. Mara broadcast the final melody from her pod. Every creature on the planet answered together. Memory light flooded into the black spines. The sphere collapsed into a silent seed. The leviathan swallowed the seed and sealed it away. The ocean's symphony became whole again. The memory keepers began glowing again. Lost memories returned to the Nymari. Children saw their ancestors for the first time. Living cities blossomed across the seafloor. The Nymari gave Mara a drop of starlit water. Within it rested the memory of an entire world. Mara promised never to weaponize the gift. The ocean answered with a gentle melody. For once, the signal stopped calling her name. It called the name of Earth. Mara left the reef as two moons rose. Glass creatures lifted from the water to farewell her. The Leviathan appeared beneath the clouds like living land. Her ship carried the memory drop into orbit. Mara transmitted part of the melody toward Earth. Telescopes at home received the signal. Yet the water drop began forming rings of light. Within them appeared images of many other oceans. Thalassa was not the only world that remembered. The universe might be preserving every story ever lived.